after they had a threesome. A lot of the stories were how the guy ended up leaving the girl for the other person.
For the other one? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Kyra is saying out loud what she's about to do to her best friend here. This is Duper's delight. Hi, and welcome back to the Anti-Alienation Project. I'm Maddie, and here on my project, I talk about all things related to parental alienation. This parental alienation usually happens during a divorce, a split, or a custody battle where one parent uses manipulation to turn their child against their other loving parent without true justification. I was alienated from my dad by my mom for 20 years, and I figured everything out last year. Since then, I've been speaking out about this form of abuse and rebuilding my relationship with my dad. Severe alienators often alienate more than just their children. From personal experience, I can say that I know it wasn't enough for my mom to just alienate me from my dad. I was also systematically alienated from everybody else in my life. Friends, extended family members, even siblings. Research also suggests that this is true. Severe alienators will not stop. They show a pattern of alienating behavior. At its simplest form, alienation is when one toxic, controlling, manipulative person, usually with a personality disorder, 95% of the time, turns two people against each other. And it's basically an extreme form of triangulation. For more severe alienators, it's almost as if it's in their DNA to alienate. It comes second nature to them. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you may know that I live in Utah, and I made a video one time about another Utah mom who used to have a family vlogging channel on YouTube called OkBaby. Her name is Kyra Sivertson. Here's a brief summary for anyone who's not familiar with who this woman is. Kyra Sivertson and Oscar Morales got pregnant as teens and quickly capitalized on the fame that they found on YouTube. They filmed their kids' lives every day, almost achieving instant success. Their channel, OkBaby, amassed over 1 million subscribers as the couple grew their family to 4 kids in total, and their bank accounts to millions of dollars. I found out about this family through the Dad Challenge podcast. If you are unfamiliar with him on YouTube, I'd highly recommend you check him out. He tries to call out child exploitation online, and he likes to make videos about Kyra Sivertson because she has exploited her kids for 7 years online. Fast forward 7 years though, since they started their family channel, 4 kids and millions of dollars later, Kyra shocked the internet a while ago by breaking off their engagement in a very distasteful manner. About 2 years ago, Oscar and Kyra uploaded a horrific YouTube video which shocked the internet, announcing their split, which went viral due to Kyra's shocking behavior. As it would turn out, this breakup video would mark the end of the beginning of Kyra Sivertson and her career on YouTube. Since then, she has lost over 100,000 subscribers, her reputation, dignity, and the craziest part, since then, the truth has been revealed. Kyra had been cheating on Oscar. It gets even worse. Not only did she cheat on Oscar, but she cheated on Oscar with her best friend's husband. Her best friend, who she had a sex podcast with, husband. Her best friend's husband, who actually edited their sex podcast. It's just insane. And then this month, Kyra actually married her best friend's husband, whose name is Preston, by the way, and he's not cute. And I do hold him responsible as well. But he hasn't exploited his children online. He hasn't really been the alienator in the situation. That's why I'm focusing on Kyra. In my first video about Kyra Sivertson, or I guess I should say Kyra Smith, I broke down some of her other videos where she displayed pretty obvious alienating behaviors. For instance, talking badly about Oscar, threatening to take the kids from Oscar. It was ugly.
I used to be just the mom, and now I'm having to be mom and dad. I get nervous saying this because I feel like people are gonna freak out, but I will be with my kids all the time. Their dad has switched to 50-50 to only once a week. Even if you prefer it that way, does it disappoint you?
I don't think it's appropriate for the whole internet to know their custody situation anyway.
I very much try to encourage a healthy schedule, but I also do understand and well, I try to understand, I try to consider other people have different needs and goals and priorities and all the things.
Nope, you don't get to say that. You don't get to say that different people have different priorities and that his job is more important than his kids. That's the insinuation here, let's be honest. Since making that video, however, I have learned even more disturbing details about this woman and her past, which just provide me with more evidence that she is an alienator, allegedly. So today we're going to dive into those details from the point of view of someone who lived through 20 years of severe parental alienation. Because I know this pathology so intimately from personal experience, I know how alienators operate backwards and forwards. So I hope that I'll be able to add some insight into this situation. So let's start with the details that I mentioned before. So 2 years ago, she not only broke up her own family with Oscar and her children, but she also broke up her best friend's marriage and went on to date and marry her best friend's husband. It's insane. But that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is that this is a pattern for Kyra. This is how Kyra got Oscar way back in high school. Oscar was dating somebody else. And guess who that other person was before Kyra and Oscar got together? It was Kyra's long-term childhood best friend. I mean, really, guys, you can't make this up. She actually has done this before. She's broken up a relationship that her best friend had and taken her best friend's man before, starting in high school, going in and tearing up a marriage or a serious committed relationship and then poaching their partner for her own, gratification. This is actually something Kyra likes to do, has done before, seems to be good at. Disgusting. Depraved. So we're going to watch this clip from the podcast that Kyra did with her best friend whose husband she stole. And she's explaining here how she got Oscar in the first place by stealing him. Alienator.
I want to hear your real version of how you and Oscar got together. We fucked and his ex was in the room. That's what everybody wants to hear. Everybody's been waiting literally years to hear that. His ex was in the room and I pulled him to the side because I wanted to tell him something, but instead I fucked him.
Oh, I feel secondhand shame for her. I feel embarrassed for her. I feel disgusted by her. Who does that? Who has sex with their childhood best friend's boyfriend in the same room? There's only one type of person who would do that, and that's the type of person who gets off on that. You have to be a sick-minded individual to get satisfaction from that. And you know where she gets it from. She gets it from the power, the control, the feeling that she's won over her best friend, that she's better than her, and to make two people end their relationship and start a new one with her. It's sick. Where is her shame? Here's another clip.
I think honestly it was a lot like, oh, my best friend is dating my ex. And if you know the story, which some of you do, some of you don't, there's a little more than just, oh, my best friend is now with my ex boyfriend of I think they went out for a few years. I don't remember how many, but I think 2 or 1.5. Yeah, so she was definitely pissed. I mean, obviously, and I expected that, and that's why we stopped being friends. I knew there was no friendship between us that was going to be had. Now that you have kids with him, what are her thoughts? I have no idea, and I'm sure she's had a few boyfriends since. I don't think it really matters to each of us anymore, and to be honest, I don't think we would have stayed friends out of high school only because of the circumstances at the time, regardless of Oscar, anybody, and that's kind of why I decided Oscar was worth the risk at the time, because I didn't know we were going to have kids or anything, but because I knew our friendship wasn't going to really go beyond that anyways. But if it were me, it would hurt my feelings.
I don't think I'm going to be friends with this person after high school, so let's just screw them over and betray them and hurt them and sleep with their boyfriend in the same room. Can she put herself in other people's position and realize how shitty that is? I am disgusted by her behavior. So let's go to the original breakup video. This video is what not to do when you break up with somebody. Keep in mind, these two people look very young, but they have 4 kids. Kyra has actually also admitted lately that her oldest son, who I believe is about 7, has come across her videos on YouTube, as well as videos by the Dad Challenge podcast, who has called out her cheating, her lying, her exploitation, etc. So her kids are starting to see these things on the internet. He might have already seen it, this little 7-year-old boy. Makes me really sad for these kids. Let's go.
We've been best friends for so long, and I would say we genuinely have stayed best friends the whole time. And
it got to a point in my mind where I felt like, are we just best friends? Like, I feel like that's what we are. Is there more to it than that?
She started off by saying that, you know, we're best friends, we're still best friends, we've always been best friends. And I started to think maybe that's all we are. First of all, you are supposed to be best friends with your spouse. Like, Kyra, that is what you're supposed to be, best friends with each other. That is how it's gonna last long term. The honeymoon stage is not going to last forever, and if that's what you're chasing, you're gonna be continuously disappointed. It's also interesting to think about how she frames it by saying, you know, are we just friends? Maybe she was feeling like the passion had died. Now that we know that she was having sex with her best friend's husband on the side, this did not age well.
More to it than that, but at this point in our lives, I don't feel like there is more to it than that. And nothing happened that's like crazy and dramatic. Nobody like cheated. Nobody like.
Feelings were hurt though. You did some things that hurt my feelings, but I found out later on, like a month later, that it's because you were holding these feelings inside and kind of.
Wow. So she goes out and she wants to clarify that there's no cheating, even though we know she was cheating. So she's trying to make sure that her bases are covered. No one's going to suspect her of what she's actually doing. And Oscar does not deny it. Oscar does not confirm that she hasn't cheated. In fact, he says, feelings were hurt though, which tells me that there was something that happened that betrayed the trust. Maybe not full-blown cheating at the time that Oscar was aware of, but he knew something was going on. She didn't have to say no one cheated. She didn't have to say that. She did it for a reason. She wanted him to confirm that no one cheated for the internet to know.
But can you please clarify that I wasn't cheating?
Yeah, you weren't cheating.
You people will dig into
You did a lot of things that bothered me. I wouldn't consider them full-blown cheating, but it was definitely lines.
So she's trying to get him to confirm for the whole world that no one cheated, and he's having a hard time doing that for her. You can tell she's getting a little frustrated. He said, I wouldn't consider it full-blown cheating, but that confirms something happened.
What about that situation bothers you?
It's not that situation. I just feel like once we sit here and start naming like specific things, like do we want to talk about when I had mental health issues? You were not there for me. Like we don't need to like dig into all of that.
Yeah, you're right. And I do think something like this.
She's so annoying. She's trying to distract him from what she did by bringing up one of his flaws in the relationship.
It's sad that it took this, but I wish I was better for you back then. Just I didn't know better. I didn't understand these things. Like I feel like I'm understanding them now, going through my own like sadness points, you know?
Yeah. The thing is, it takes two in a relationship. And Oscar is not like, yes, there are things he has done to hurt me or made us drift apart or like all the things, right?
Yeah.
But so have I.
Was that a tiny bit of accountability? Did I just hear a smidge of accountability? That's nice to hear. So she's saying they both made mistakes. They both messed up.
This is where, for me, I knew that it wasn't something I wanted to like hold on to anymore. I knew when I, in my head, was thinking of Oscar being happy with somebody else, and that made me happier, that's when I knew I didn't.
Okay. There's only one situation where you would imagine your partner with someone else, unless you suspect that they're cheating or something like that. And that's if you're with someone else. I think this is her way of trying to absolve the little bit of guilt she may have. Because if she's cheating on Oscar, which we know now she was, she's trying to picture him with someone else, and the fact that it makes her happy is making her feel better about herself. Really seems like she was asking herself that question because she was considering the possibility of leaving him, and she knew that one day he would find another girl, and she was trying to play out in her mind, like, is that going to be okay with me? Am I going to feel jealous? Am I going to be upset with that? And it made her happy. She's saying it made her happy. So she is so disconnected from Oscar at this time. She is so over it, so done with the relationship that actually makes her feel happy. Now, what she believes at this point about Oscar being with another girl and how she's actually gonna feel with Oscar being with another girl are two very separate things. A lot of the times, people who alienate, they do it out of jealousy, and besides divorce and a custody dispute with parental alienation, one other thing that can often cause the alienation to ramp up is when the ex finds a new partner. So for example, we'll just take my personal experience. So when my dad met my stepmom, my mom ramped the alienation up with me. From the very beginning, she absolutely despised my stepmom without any good reason to. She created a narrative about my stepmom, you know, that my stepmom is a narcissist just like my dad, that my stepmom only cares about her appearance, wants to take my dad's money, that my step siblings are a threat to me one day getting my dad's inheritance. So messed up that you would make your child think about that and make them think about their other parent dying and make them think about their parents' money. I don't give a crap about that. I just want my dad to be here. So what she is feeling now, because Oscar does have a new girlfriend now, her name is Addie, she seems great for him and they seem really happy together. But I bet you, just from what I know about being so close to an alienator for decades, is that there's going to be very, very extreme jealousy, but not only jealousy because they have kids together. She's going to be threatened by the possibility that Oscar's new partner is going to be a mother-like figure in the kids' lives. That's gonna drive her nuts. And that will be a new catalyst for her to want to control the children more, isolate the children from their father and their would-be stepmom. She is going to hate that, even though she has tried to start replacing Oscar with her new husband, Preston. I mean, it's shocking because there was another video I was watching. She admits that Preston sleeps in the bed with her and the kids. Gross. Gross. I don't know if you know this, and Kyra, if you happen to watch this video, you should know, and Oscar, you should know, if children are sexually abused in a household, it's most common for that abuser to be the stepdad. I'm not accusing Preston of anything nefarious with the kids. I'm just saying that's inappropriate, I think. In my opinion, that's inappropriate. She has also said other things. You know, people asked her if she broke up the marriage and she said there was nothing to break up. We didn't have a family. We didn't have a home. You can't break a home that's already broken. It's so weird because I wonder if she thinks about how the fact that she like vlogged every day of her life with Oscar. They came across as a fun-loving and pretty happy family for the most part. I mean, they made a lot of poor decisions. I'm not saying that they didn't, but what they presented to people on YouTube for 7 years was not a broken home. Yes, they fought, but it was not a broken home. She is so disconnected from what her children might be going through. The ramifications this is going to have on not only her children, but also her relationships with her children. If she continues to badmouth Oscar, if she continues to manipulate people, to alienate people, she continues to break up relationships and lie, I wonder what her children are going to think one day. Because not only is all of this online for them to see, but children develop. Once they reach an emotional maturity level that's greater than their parents, they can see who their parents truly are. Kyra, it's time to get in therapy and really start to figure your stuff out for the sake of your children and so that you can continue having a relationship with them once they're grown up.
So angry all the time. I hate that you throw things. I hate that this. I hate this. I'm sad. I know you guys are gonna be sad. I'm sorry that we haven't made a video about it for a minute. But also, all that's in the back of my mind is how will people take what I just said? How are people gonna take what you just said?
Well, you didn't do a very good job about thinking about that. You probably should have thought a little harder about that.
Guys, I feel like they just like need that. Like Oscar and I haven't slept together in some time.
It's been like a month, yeah. Like
2 months.
Almost, yeah. It's gonna be there.
It was like the beginning of November.
Dude, that's too TMI.
What are their kids gonna think about that one day when they watch this video? Oscar and I haven't slept together in 2 months. Divorce is really hard for kids. It's hard to live in a household like that where you're split between your parents, and she's just laughing it up. It's so funny to her. I mean, zero regard for the children. This video is after the breakup video. I think that they're like about to move out and Kyra's packing or something, and they find this booklet of notes that she made for him during the relationship. So let's just listen out.
I have a serious question.
Oh, you never read those, huh? You never read all of them. You can have them.
Okay, thanks, but like, what do we do with them?
You keep them or throw them away.
Throw them away.
That's so rude to throw them away.
It's so rude to cheat on your partner with your best friend's husband. So rude.
I read most of them. I always saved them for when we got in a big fight, and we got in way more big fights than books that you could ever hold in 2 hands.
You should have read them. You should have studied them, okay, before.
But this is the only time he ever said them. If you want to go there.
It's incredible to me that she's the one cheating in this video, but that she's painting Oscar out to be the person who deserved this breakup. And maybe that's how she's able to justify breaking up her family in her head, by only remembering the bad things about Oscar. And this is kind of what happens with alienators during a split or after a divorce. They are very black and white thinkers usually. So what happens is that when they decide they're done, they demonize the other partner and turn them completely black, and then they write this narrative of the relationship being terrible the whole entire time. It's not true. The ex is not this terrible person they're making them seem to be, but it helps absolve their guilt, and it's some type of weird way that they cope. I don't really get it.
Some of these, like, on the
Like, I like your body. Good butt.
Should we make a video of me going through these? Oh, that would be good, actually.
That's so cringy.
That's a little cringy.
Read some.
Okay. I just read the first one. Let me know if you guys want to see a whole video on me reading these. But, okay, Kyra. Why you're so awesome to Kyra from Oscar.
Okay, read it. Come on.
Number 1, your sense of style is totally awesome.
This is so cringy.
Number 2, you're the most awesome mother in the world.
It's fill in the blank. He didn't come up with all these on his own, okay?
And she just like can't
number
even
3.
like appreciate anything. She can't even appreciate this. She's like, it's fill in the blank.
You have the funniest laugh. You actually do. Hey, I'm still telling the truth on all these. Number 4, you are awesomely talented at making babies. Hey, dude, I'm proud of myself. Number 5, it was awesome to know you when I did.
And it is did. Past tense.
Yeah.
You knew it.
Number 6, if you were a holiday, you'd be Valentine's Day. That's the first line. Number 7, it's awesome going to bed every night with you. Okay, I'm done reading these. Okay.
I actually think that Kyra gets excited by the cheating process, but then also by poaching her best friend's husbands. She can feel like she's better than them. She could feel like she managed to have that much power and influence over 2 people to end what they decided to commit to. It's really sick. It gives her the sick satisfaction, but just like she got bored and tired of Oscar, I predict that she's going to get bored and tired with Preston, and it probably won't take very long. And here's my theory on their podcast, okay? I think that she developed the podcast to break up their marriage. Whether she did it consciously or subconsciously, I don't know. But I believe that she used the podcast to get closer to both of them because Hannah, the wife, was the co-host, and Preston, the husband, was the editor, and I believe she used it to get closer to both of them. And then it was about sex, so I think that she even leveraged that to kind of turn Preston on, maybe, or get him excited about what she was into, or just to get him thinking about her and sex together. I don't know how it happened, the details, but that's how she wiggled her way into the relationship, I believe. Let's take a look at this video from their sex podcast before the cookies all crumbled. It's a really bad podcast, by the way, but what else can you expect? And the stuff they talk about is just so crude and nasty.
Have you ever had a full blowjob where you finished?
Yes. And
Okay, not with me.
Here's the last clip. Kyra and the wife, whose husband she stole, on their podcast.
I think the way, in my mind, when I think of a threesome that's possible, is like we're in Vegas, we're both drunk, and we find someone very random that we don't know. And like, also, I would pick.
She did this. She did this threesome situation in Vegas. And she was the one who picked. She has admitted all of this now. Crazy. I wonder if she had planned it out before then, or if she was actually doing it this time. I'm not sure, but I think she's like actually not very intelligent, because she put this on the internet, and does she not realize people are going to put 2 and 2 together? Where are the brain cells?
he is
No,
not
that's too.
Yeah, and I know
close.
his type, so I would do the exact opposite of that, and like there would be a lot of things. I know when I was actually researching this earlier, when we were making the outline, I saw a lot of people, their like responses after they had a threesome, and obviously more from the research I did, more people regretted it than were happy with their choice. Some people are, but a lot of people were like, definitely not my thing. But a lot of the stories were how the guy ended up leaving the girl for the other person.
For the other one? Oh my god.
Oh my god. Poor Hannah. This friend of hers. Oh my god. Kyra is saying out loud what she's about to do to her best friend here. This is Duper's delight. This is Duper's delight. She is having fun, I believe, fooling her friend in broad daylight. Oh my god, she's a scary woman. I would say, Oscar, get a lawyer, but I have a feeling that he has done that. The fact that neither of them are showing the kids' faces implies to me that he got a lawyer and said no more of the kids online. Good for him. And the fact that it seems like they've gotten 50-50 custody back in place, because Kyra had gotten the majority custody, I believe, at one point. I really think he has gotten a lawyer, and I hope he has gotten a lawyer, because as his relationship moves on with Addie and the kids grow to like her, perhaps, she might try to turn the kids against him. She really might. If she's saying all these things about Oscar, disparaging him online, what is she saying at home when no one's watching? So that's the end of this video. I hope that this was insightful, enlightening, or helpful for somebody out there. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up to get parental alienation in the algorithm and inform more people. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and ring the bell so that you won't miss any videos. If you're a Kyra Oscar fan, I'd be really interested to hear in the comments what you think about this whole situation, how you feel about Kyra now that all this has been revealed. I'm just so familiar with this personality that it's so blatant to me that she thrives on turning people against each other, breaking up relationships, getting away with things, lying, manipulating, and I'm worried about her kids. I feel bad for her kids. If you would like more videos like this, exposing alienators or investigating certain situations, let me know. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.